Hello everyone, this is Debbie from Ink and Page, and I'm here today with a new Junk Journal July video. This is for day 29, which is stamp. Before I go into any of the other stuff, I just wanted to express my sincere appreciation and thanks to you guys who have super stuck around, who have watched the videos, who have commented, who have gone over and purchased things from my Etsy shop. I very much appreciate that, and you guys are the ones that really made this possible, because for me, I basically took a month off of making stuff for Etsy to do this project, which was a gift to me as well, because I never get to do this much crafting. And so for me, this was like a bit of an adventure, you know? But at the same time, I am the sole, breadwinner for my household. And I have 2 kids and 4 dogs and a herd of guinea pigs, a bird, a turtle, you name it, we have one. So I really appreciate you guys continuing to support this project just by doing what you're doing. Commenting, liking, watching, stuff like that. It really makes a huge difference, and I appreciate it. So thank you very much. If you are new and you made it through my little speech, you can get the printables for this project, all of them that I've released for the whole month, by going down in the description and signing up. If you are interested in the printables I'm going to use today, like this little mini ledger that we made yesterday, that's crazy, those will be in week 5. So you'll get access to the folder that has all of the printables in it. And the ledger is in week 5, because that's what week we're on right now. Okay, so yeah, just sign up down there and you'll get everything that you need. That's basically all you need to know. Okay, so we are going to head into this video with a variety of projects, okay? I'm hoping to do several things here without making this video last, 2 hours. So let's see how I do. I'm going to start out just with what I'm going to use. I'm using the envelope printables. These are the 3 neutral envelopes. And then I have 2 of the floral ones here that I've already assembled. I'll assemble these on this video. I have all of the postage stamps cut that were in the kit, okay? And I have punched myself out some butterflies with this punch, which is something of a trick to use, I'll just be honest. If you just can get a plain butterfly punch, you might want to do that. So, I'll also be using the background papers. Okay, I am leaning towards, I've already messed around a little bit with some stuff, and I'll show it to you in a second. I'm leaning towards this one for this video, or maybe this one. I really love the colors in this one here, in particular. So yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. No particular reason other than that. I love this one too. I just am looking for some bigger squares for this video, I think. So these are probably the 2 contenders for this video. There was another one that I've already used to make some small pieces of ephemera that I just wanted to show you guys really quickly. I'm going to use these in a minute. But these I made using the other one of these. It just looks just like this, but it's just has no flowers on it. And I used some stamps, some paper. I have nothing on this one yet. We'll see what happens. I have, these pieces I made basically to use in here, right? And I didn't know what I was going to do with them yet. So, and I found this butterfly in my drawer. It's probably from 3 Wishes, but I cannot promise you that. And no one should listen to me anyway, because half the time I don't know where stuff is from. But because I've made so many kits at this point, there's like over 400 things I think in my shop, plus years of freebies. So yeah, I'm not the best person to ask. So, but Anyway, the butterflies, I put them in many of my kits, so you should be able to find one. There's definitely some in the freebies from this one. It just probably doesn't look exactly like this one. Okay, the other thing I did is I did get some stamps because it is, you know, stamp is our prompt today. So I'm also going to use these, which is the Botanical Collage from Tim Holtz. And the first thing that I'm going to tackle in this video is this little book, okay? So what I want to do is stamp into this little book. That's going to be my first stamp of the project. Then I plan to make a belly band to go into my main journal with the stamps. And I really am torn about my envelopes. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do on my page with these guys yet. So we'll see if I have a hot idea, but I'm going to assemble them so that you can see how they go together in case you've never put one of these together before. So I'm going to go through a bunch of different stuff for this video, and hopefully you guys will find at least some of it to be helpful. Okay, I'm going to start with this here, and I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to be overlapping my page, I believe, with this stamp. This is the one I want in the beginning. I'm going to use Vintage Photo Archival on this. Here, and I've never used this stamp before, so it's its maiden voyage here, which is exciting. Okay. So this is my first stamp of the stamp prompt. And then we'll use stamps of the postage variety as well. And then the other thing I wanted to do was use these as masterboards, sort of, but not in a traditional sense of a masterboard. So we'll get to that really in a minute. But the first thing, I'm going to start with the easiest task here, and that is going to be stamping on here. I'm going to get myself a scrap piece of paper here. Oops. And put that underneath. And I'm going to have this right when you open the book. So I kind of like, because like it's got this like piece of, you know, paper here. I think it's just going to be nice and scrappy when you open it. Okay, so I just got to get my placement here. Fortunately for me, this is a pretty grungy looking stamp, so it should be okay if it's not perfect. There we go, and now I have this. Right when you come in, I could probably add a little bit of washi tape to this just to kind of fill it out a little bit, but overall, definitely what I was looking for. I'm in love with this thing, in love with it. And I'm so happy that so many of you guys are also in love with it, because I got so many nice, lovely comments on the video yesterday, and I really appreciate that. It like it's like fuel, you know what I mean? Like when you read those and you're like, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing. So, okay, so there's that one. I put that in there. And then okay, so I'm going to just very slightly switch gears here just for a second, just to show you, because what I want to do is use this ephemera to decorate in here, but I want to show you how I got to this ephemera. I just didn't want to like go into a long drawn out situation of making ephemera on camera, so that's why I made some on the side, right? So basically, like traditionally with a masterboard, you would decorate this, you would cut it up into tags and journal cards. What I want to do with this is use the existing squares to like define my ephemera. So I'll be cutting it like this could be a journal card here, right? If I cut that out right here, I'm going to stamp right here to make a, you know, just like a little piece of ephemera that I could attach to a page. something I could layer with. You know, I punched a couple of these butterflies because I thought I could maybe put these on some of the darker squares. You know, because that's just a really, I mean, this blue down here especially is a really pretty contrast. So I'm just was going to kind of show you how I went through the whole process, how I decided what I decided, you know, stuff like that. So my first and most obvious targets for stamping are going to be like this down here, because the ink is going to look the best on these colors. Now, I'm not saying it won't look good on other colors, because it might. It's just that I know from my personal experience, and also from doing a bunch of test stamping, that these lighter colors look really great with the Vintage Photo, which is the ink that I am currently using. I also have some archival in Plum, and that actually also ended up looking pretty nice with these. That is this color here. It's more of like a grape purple to me than it is to Plum, but it could be that what I stamped it on is affecting it as well. I put paint down to create a lighter background for it on this one, which just adds another layer of interest to what you're doing. So let's pick a stamp, and I'm going to pick one. Let's see, I'm not going to use that same botanical set because those are all just way too big. Okay, so right here I have the usual suspects, which are Mercantile, Tiny Toadstools, and Flutter. These are all excellent stamp sets that are eminently usable. I mean, I find myself turning to these a lot. There's, you know, Tim Holtz has a couple of different stamp sets. He puts his stamps together really in a way that maximizes usability. You know what I mean? So like you can, you know, he's got a couple different ones that have like similar type themes and stuff, but like, so you could just pick one of them, you know what I mean? Like he's got a bunch of these, like, okay, so this one might look good here, I think. You know, so there's a bunch of different ones that are kind of in the same theme as Mercantile, which is like this one, which is like, it's got an ink bottle, it's got numbers, it's got the hand, you know, it's got some scripty script up here, it's got a quote, it's got a guy, you know what I mean? So it's like, that composition is like a nice base stamp set to have. Like if you're only going to have one stamp set, a stamp set like that is the best kind to have. Okay, so we're going to try out Vintage Photo on this, like kind of like it's like a seashell pink, maybe a little bit darker than that. Put that on there. Okay. And I'm using archival to stamp because, you know, I mentioned this the other night, distress ink, like if it gets a hint of moisture near it, it starts to run. So even with, you know, if you know you're going to be gluing something down, that's when I use archival. Now, if I don't care if it runs, that's a whole different story. You know what I mean? I don't care if it runs on the edges. I just don't want it to run in the middle. Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, the contrast could be better, like if I had used like ground espresso, but this is what I have right now, so I'm going to use that. But that's not too bad for contrast. And the best part about this is if you mess up, you can just get some paint over it, and start over again. Okay, so what else do I have here? Because I want to do something in here. Let's see if we can find one for Flutter. And let's use one that I have not used before. This one right here. Actually, I think that might be a good candidate for down here. And I'm not worrying about what this whole thing looks like because I'm going to cut this up. So none of these things are going to be near each other, so they could be all different topics or themes. And some of the, like, one of the other things that I did was, like, you could stamp on another piece of paper and then just glue the piece of paper to this. You know, because it's really in the layers where your ephemera starts to shine. So if you're creating more layers, all the better, right? Oh, that one's cute. Okay, that looks good. And it might be kind of madness, like trying to like work with these shapes, but I think like sometimes when you have a space and it's defined, it's easier than when you have a whole piece of paper and you're like, what am I doing with this whole piece of paper? You know? So I do think sometimes it's a little bit easier to be like, okay, I have to decorate this square here. I need to pick one stamp. You know, I don't have to worry about anything else on here. You know, I'm just worrying about this one square. I was wondering if I'm wondering about maybe using this one on here and just like masking that off. It's a lot though. That could be a candidate for right there. Because even though this pink is light, it's surprisingly contrasty for this. It could be because I inked it. I'm not sure. Like any washi tape with like a light background looks really good on these lighter ones. Okay, so, and I also have some black washi tape with words on it too that I could give a try too. Okay, so I'm just going to do like a couple more of these and then we'll just make some little pieces of ephemera out of them. We could do, let's see if I can do a toadstool one. I really would like to use this guy here, or we could use this one here. Actually, yeah, let's use this one here. We'll do it in the corner and then we'll have space for other stuff on here as well. Okay, and then after I get a couple, I need a number. So I'm going to see if one of these sets has a number on it. Oh, that looks so cute. And you know what? Here's the thing about doing it on this kind of background. Like, see how you've got like all different like shades of, you know, you have varying back. This, like, you didn't like save so much time by not having to make that. Now, would it have been fun? Sure, it would have been fun, but like I want to decorate my journal right now. So, you know, that's like, this helps me get to my end game faster. And it's going to coordinate with all the other stuff I've done. The other thing is you can also like cut down this if you don't want to. You can, you know, cut this to shape it however you want it. You don't have to use it exactly like it is. I mean, I like giving myself that boundary, but you could cut it however you want in the end. Okay, I have this Memento Espresso Truffle. I'm going to use, instead of the tea, instead of the Vintage Photo, for this one to see if I can get a slightly darker impression. Because this one, the contrast is kind of low, you know? So I'll see if I can do better with it this time. Because this is going to be a little bit darker ink. I cannot find my ground espresso ink. I reorganized myself, and, you know, sometimes when you do that, like, it takes a minute to get used to where everything is. Okay. All right, let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's a little bit darker. I think I like that better. I wonder if I have a butterfly that would go on there. Okay, and I have this one here too that's two-toned. This is a ticket stamp. This is this one here from Going Somewhere. This is another one that I use pretty frequently. All the ones that I'm using are the ones that are like right next to my desk. All right, I'm gonna try this espresso truffle again on this color just to see if I like it. Like I said, if you don't like it, just get some paint. Just paint right over it. And then you can also, you know, create yourself a whole new look with paint. Like I painted on some of my darker squares just so that I could stamp on them. That's pretty cool. This espresso truffle is very black, but I don't hate it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut a couple of these off of here so that I can start my decorating process. And I'm gonna use these ephemera pieces that I made here out of that. And I'm going to save the rest of these because I will come back and finish this. But, like, I didn't want to do the whole sheet on here because, you know, you guys don't have hours to watch this. So I don't think anybody would want to watch that for a couple of hours. Okay, I got this one. I may just cut these ones here. I would prefer my other scissors, actually. I love these ones. And then I'm going to cut it across here. Okay, so let's do a little bit of decorating in here, and then we'll jump into the journal here. So here's what I've got. I've got this. I've got a ticket, which I'll trim just slightly. And then I can just rough the edges up a little bit. I have toadstools. I have a quote. I have a butterfly. I have like this little collage piece and an ink bottle and a thing that says ticket. Okay. So I'm just gonna basically look through here and like, you know, try to come up with places for this stuff to go. This is not 100% my color palette in there. I do like this one. Okay, so for this, I think I'm going to go with, oh, I could go here. Where's that? Sometimes you should go with your first instinct, just so you know. Yeah, this page. Okay, so I'm going to trim it a little bit so it fits. Great. And then I think what I will do is just rip it along the, like, angle here. And then have it be like a little bit of a tuck spot. Okay, I was thinking I should also round the corner of this to match that. And I think I used the smallest one. We'll see. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. So, yeah, and I'm just going to glue that on there. And then I have a little pocket for in here. Put that on there. For my little ledger here. I think I'm going to glue these guys right on the page. Okay, and this guy is going to go right on top here. If that's too big for that one. This one kind of just like goes right in with that one. I could make this guy a little bit of a tuck spot there. Let's see, we're gonna go on this side. I could actually round all of the corners on this one. I think, oh my gosh, I went crazy. Okay, so let's glue all the way around the edge there. Okay, where did I put... I kind of want to get this on here somehow. It kind of covers that up though. We could maybe just clip it. I really would love to staple it, but I don't want to staple in this because I don't want to have to worry about the other side. Okay, at least I've made like a start on this guy here. Okay, I'm going to jump over to my main journal because I'm worried about, a little bit worried about time. Okay. And then I can save these guys to use in there, or I can use them in something else if I want. Okay, so my main journal, I may have planned a little bit too much for this video, but, you know, I took my stuff out of this pocket temporarily, just so that I could, you know, because it makes it a little bit easier, especially with having the ledger in there. So I'm going to go on here, and what I'm going to do is use one of my one of the, like, probably this one, I think. What do you guys think? Is this too crazy? It actually looks nice with this paper. I was going to use this to make a belly band. What do you think? I hope it's not too crazy. Really, maybe I should not use this, actually. Maybe I just need something a little more chill, because I wanted to put my stamps on it. And I'm afraid... Oh, let's just do it, right? I mean, you only live once, and it's Junk Journal January, and, you know, it's not like anybody's, like, approving or disapproving of what I'm doing, so. Okay, if this is a total fiasco, just don't do it in yours, so. And then I have this really pretty, like, journal card, too. So, okay. Let's just put a belly band on here, and then we're just going to decorate it with the stamps. I really wanted to somehow work the envelopes in, but unless I want to glue this down, like, in intervals, you know what I mean? I don't see how I'm gonna be able to get my envelopes in, because they are small. Like I could, you know, put glue so that there were, like, or it would have to be a little smaller, but there'd be little pockets for them all the way down. But I think I might do that. Let's do that on a different page, because I think that, like, I'll have to make probably a bigger tag to go on here. Let's just do, like, a little simple, how's this gonna look on here? Make sure I get these all the right way. These are stamped stamps, so even better. That one might look really good at the top. Is that all of my stamps? I have some real ones here, but I think these are cuter. Okay, all right, let's see what we got here. Okay, now this is a very busy background, so admittedly, so let's see what I can do about that. Maybe just some mummy cloth or cheesecloth to keep it a little bit more simple, or tissue paper. Oops. And I'm gonna just cut this to be about the same. Actually, you know what? It's probably smarter to cut it long and then cut it down. All right, and then I'm just gonna glue it to the belly band, and then I'm gonna glue my stamps right down the center of it, just to give it a little bit of extra texture and neutrality, so that it doesn't look crazy. Because I did pick a crazy fabric here. Not a crazy fabric, a crazy paper. Okay, so let's see how these go. I just need to put something under this so that it isn't bumping around all the time. There we go. This sari silk fabric is very weird, and I find that the glue stick works the best on it. The, like, normal glue or Fabri-Tac is a disaster area with it. just going to go right down the center here. Oops. Sometimes my hand forgets to stop squeezing. Whoops. And I got this little pink one right here for the bottom. I did not use the round one. I wonder if I should use it. What do you think? I think I used all of them. I hope I got them all. Okay, I'm going to just wipe off my glue tip there. Okay, I'm going to snip off my extra fabric. It might give me the opportunity to fray it a little bit on the ends there. And now I have a nice belly band. I do need something to put in it, but I could put a bunch of different stuff in it. I could even put my ledger in it if I wanted, even though I especially made a pocket for it yesterday. Okay, wait, I gotta think, because let's see, we have ticket and patchwork left, so I'm not really sure how to tie that into this, to be honest, but I'm sure there's gonna be a way. So I need something to go behind this right here, so I think the best bet is probably to make an envelope to go behind it. What do you think? Okay, I just looked at my papers and I guess I'll go with this one. I was thinking about going with this one because it matches that, but it might be too matchy-matchy. This one I can just decorate. I think the patchwork one is just a little bit too crazy for what I'm doing here. I'm gonna make this envelope with the same method that I did yesterday. I'm gonna make it in the other direction. This is the long way. Okay. I'm just looking at my overlap here because I want a bit of an overlap so that my envelope has a place to be glued. And then I have to look at, okay, I want it to fit here. So I need a pretty decent fold up here. I'm gonna just go ahead and cut it. See how that. I'm custom fitting my envelope. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna cut out my corners here. Okay, this is going to be the bottom of my envelope here. So I'm going to just cut this here and then flip it over and kind of cut the same angle on this side. That way it will match. And then I think I am going to actually punch that so it has kind of like a pretty edge, because it's a little bit longer than I would like it to be. So I figure this will be my best way of combating that. Let's punch this one. Okay, so now that can be my bottom. And, oh, okay, so, and I need to do my top too, huh? Okay, so let's see. What should we do about the top? It's quite long, so maybe we'll just take off a tiny bit. Okay, then I'll cut my angles, like basically how I want it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my piece from over here. Whoops, it goes like this, and then just flip it over to this side. I still think it's a little bit too long. Okay, so now I'm going to use my punch again. Okay, now I'm going to do a quick glue on my envelopes here. So first, oh wait, I forgot I need to do in here. So I can have a little bit of a, let's see, where does my thing go? I just want to have a little bit of a dip in here. I'm going to just flip this guy over. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and just put glue here. And we'll put glue just under the lace here. And do a little bit of glue stick on the lace. That way it'll still have some glue on that. It's so hot in my craft room right now. Okay, there we go. There's that. All right, and I'm not going to glue this one down. Okay, I'm just going to leave that flap open to go in here. And then I think what we will do is another stamp job here for the front of that envelope. Now, I'm not sure 100% what like the final envelope's gonna look like, but I can't leave it like that. So let's put one of those flowers on there. I mean, I feel kind of like, yeah. Okay, so let's figure out where we want to be on here. All right, so I'm going to go down towards this corner. Just make sure I'm on the bottom. Okay. And then that way it leaves me some space around it if I want to add something to it. I need a big stamp block for that one. And now let's put some ink on here. Okay, you guys, I just inked that whole ink pad with black soot. So let's try this again with Vintage Photo. I knew something was off and I did not realize what it was. So I looked at the ink thing and it said black soot. Yeah. Some days you're the windshield and some days you're the bug. Yesterday was the windshield, today I am the bug. Alright, let's try this again. And hopefully I can get a decent impression on here. Sometimes with these bigger stamps, it is better to use like a stamping platform, but, you know. Okay, let's put this down here. This is kind of a detailed stamp, but it's also a grungy stamp, so hopefully oh, that is lovely. So pretty. Okay, let's see. So tomorrow is ticket, so it's possible. Like, I know I have some nice, like, I have these, and I have some pretty colored tickets. So maybe we enhance this page with, you know, something like this. That's just such a beautiful color. Okay, yeah, so I will see you guys tomorrow for ticket, and we will do something else. I'll add more to my ledger. We'll add tickets into the ledger, even though I think I added a ticket one in today. But, yeah, we'll add more in here. We'll maybe make something for there. And, yeah. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't already.